Energy Department says it has overstated the petrol price by 6 cents a litre. The petrol price will increase by 75 cents a litre instead of 81 cents a litre for December. For the latest on this, I'm joined now by Director of Fuel Prices in the Department of Energy, Robert Maake. Very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. Fuel prices will be through the roof in December, with the price of oil playing almost no part. I mean, that's an important statement that has been made. But before we tackle that one, let's talk about the change of pricing.
Yes, apologies, I couldn't join you virtually because of laptop problems. Yeah, what happened is normally when you calculate the retail margin, it's got its own composition. And one of the composition of the retail margin is the wages of the forecourt attendant. And that wages is adjusted every year in September. So this year we adjusted it in September. It was 5.7 cents a litre. Now, when we calculate the margin at the end of the year, you are supposed to then subtract that 5.7 from the total calculation, which is something that normally you, for example, what happened now, you find that you have done it in theory, but you didn't do it on paper. When people ask you, you said, no, it's done. Then we pick it up when we were updating the matrices, the breakdown for the service station cost and so on. That's when we picked it up. But no, there's a overstating of this margin. And then we checked with the retailers and so on. Then we corrected it. That's why you see the errata that was issued by the department. Normally it would not happen because the benchmark service station matrix would also be done while the margin is being finalized.
Now, let's talk about some of the influential factors in determining the recalculation. What prompted the adjustment in the fuel price?
The adjustment for the fuel price this time around, the main contributing factors, as we have said, the first one is the rand-dollar exchange rate, which was weaker compared to the rand was weaker compared to the US dollar and contributed to the higher prices. Slightly higher oil prices. Another factor is the increase in the slate levy of about 26.3 cents. And then these margins that we're talking about that are adjusted every year once off in December. So they're also included in the adjustment. That's why you see the increases that you've seen.
There's been a lot of criticism and, besides the shock of what we thought was the initial recalculation of 40% increase of the fuel levy, the Automobile Association is saying that the price of oil plays almost no part in this new recalculation, and they're now essentially saying an investigation needs to be conducted here and perhaps looking at the model in which the calculation takes place. What's your response to that?
Well, I don't think they are correct to say it did not play any role. They maybe rather say the contribution from the oil prices maybe is minimal, but always when you calculate, you take into consideration the price of crude oil, the average for the month, then the exchange rate, and then you get your answer. So sometimes the oil contributes less, sometimes it contributes more, sometimes the exchange rate will contribute more. So in this case, they are correct. The contribution from the oil price was a little bit minimal, few cents, but they can't say there was no contribution at all. I cannot comment on the issue around price reviews and so on. They need to send their request to the department, and the department will take it from there.
Yeah, they were saying that the oil factor almost played very little. They weren't saying it's completely out of the question. They were speaking about the current fuel pricing model and its existing elements that need to perhaps be relooked at. Do you feel that there is a need to look at those elements?
Are they talking about specific elements?
Well, they're talking about the recalculation of the current fuel pricing model and its existing elements, saying that perhaps there is something that needs to be looked at over there when it comes to a possible investigation.
Well, we always look at our pricing formula. The import parity pricing formula that we use in South Africa is the same formula that is used by other countries that are importing petroleum products, because that's the cost of bringing petroleum products to South Africa. Once the product lands in South Africa, that's when you add your local sectors. Your local sectors will be your fuel levy, your road accident fund, your transportation cost, the margins that you're talking about today. Those become the local sectors. So I'm not sure which part of the pricing formula they want to have a look at, but as I'm saying to you now, the department is open to any proposal, anyone who can come with proposal to say these are the formula that should be used, and so we are prepared to engage with anyone. So they are welcome to send their request directly to the Director General of the department, and then the department will take it from there.
And very lastly, before we let you go, Mr. Maake, the timing of this fuel hike comes at a time where South Africa's economy is struggling. We're in the middle of COVID-19, in fact, looking at a different variant now, a really tough time for South Africans. I mean, what is the way going forward? What are the solutions in order to perhaps stop the pinch in the pockets of South Africans?
Yeah, I said in one of the interviews, but I indicated that we don't have anything on the table officially at the moment yet, right? But what other countries are looking at, they're looking at stabilization funds, where when the prices increase by a higher margin, when the prices drop by a higher margin, then part of that money is put in that account. And then when the price is supposed to go up, they use that money from the account to cushion the prices. That's something that the technical team in the department are looking at, are investigating. The other factor for us could be to adjust the prices on quarterly basis. Then you have an average over 3-month period instead of having an average on a monthly period. So we are also collecting data on that one, on the one of quarterly adjustment, looking at the historic adjustment and see what will be the impact on the prices themselves. So once the technical team is done internally, we'll then have to present to our bosses. And then when the bosses approve, that's when you can go out for consultation. But as I'm saying to you now, there's nothing on the table yet. There's still number crunching, collecting of information, and so forth.
Very well. Let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much for your time speaking there to Robert Maake from the Energy Department, giving us some sort of a breakdown when it comes to the breaking news, the petrol price increase there.